Hi guys, welcome to XtraTalk today with Sahbi and Papimento. Welcome guys.
What's up, man?
What's up guys? So today guys, we're going to keep it short basically. We have only one topic to talk about. It's the international break. So let's keep it simple. Maybe not that simple. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. It's all about the transfer window. We know the transfer window is done. We know the players we have, what players we sold. I want you guys to tell the people, tell me what you guys think of how we have been doing. Are we ready for this season? Sahbi, what's your take on it?
Well, if you ask me, in the beginning, I was very optimistic. We had a great buy at the beginning. It began with Antony. It's a great transfer. I saw him play already in the past when Ajax already talked about him. So very optimistic. And afterwards, Kudus came in. Didn't know a lot about him, but at the end, he turns out to be a decent, or not even a decent. He was a super player for us. He did well. So great job at that time. But then it went backwards. We got Klaiber, which is okay. I mean, it's a backup keeper. Some people told us that it will be the first keeper once Onana would leave, but it was definitely a second goalkeeper. And then Klaiber at the end with Klaassen. Klaiber, a bad buy. I mean, we have several players who could fit in the Ajax squad as a right back. We could get even some players from the youth squad, and of course we got Klaassen, which is a decent buy. It's not a bad buy. It's a player who can add something to the team. He shouldn't be a first team player at once. He should fight for his spot. But he brings some extras, in my opinion. But it's still not enough. I began optimistic, but at the end I had a bad taste. If you look at the list, I have a list in front of me. I just mentioned 5 players who came in and a lot of players who left. We got Ziyech, Van der Beek, Veldman, Dest, Marine, Eiting, Magalan, Botman, Ferreira, who was on loan but still left, Babel, Thierry, Danilo, Lang. So it's a huge list. And we only got 5 players as a replacement. So basically, if you add this up, for the Eredivisie, it might be sufficient. I don't know. But if we look at the Championsleague level, where we ought to be able to perform, if you want to proceed to the second round, it will be difficult. It will be difficult. So I began optimistic, but now I just had a bad taste on it, and just being disappointed on Overmars on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to just be positive because I think at least we have a good enough squad to win the Eredivisie. I think there's sufficient quality there. It just depends how the league will evolve, how many injuries we will get, how Ten Hag puts in the youngsters for experience. That will all result in or a very good season or a disastrous one. We all saw last season that when the injuries happened, that Ajax was struggling a lot, and specifically when Ziyech was gone. And I don't see anyone that can take that role, of dropping down from the wing to the midfield, distributing passes from there. Blind is the only one now that can do it. Klaassen is not the type to do it. Antony might need more time to be able maybe to do it, but I've seen some nice crosses from him. Kudus has it, but he's injured now, but I hope he will play in the midfield. And maybe then we have enough creativity. But I do think we miss like Schöne types or Ziyech types that can distribute the ball for us, because we do have like Promes, Klaassen, all people that want to run off the ball, but not really a lot of people that can give him the ball. So, yeah, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. It's an average transfer window. I'm really happy with Antony and Kudus. As Sahbi said, a lot left. So I do think we might miss something in the depth at the end of the league or during Champions League season with injuries. But that's something we just have to wait and see.
Well, with regards to Ziyech, I do think that in comparison with last year, we were a lot depending on him. As you said, Papimento, during December month and January when he was injured, it was a real issue because we lost games when he was not playing. This season should be a bit different. We should not rely on one player or two players. It should be a team effort. But to be a team, we need to have depth, just as you said. And to have that, we need players. A lot of players left, and that will mean that we should depend on our youngsters, which is okay for the Eredivisie, but definitely not for the Champions League. I mean, Taylor is a great player, but I mean, he doesn't have that level to play in the Champions League. Maybe he can get some minutes in the Eredivisie, as you said, when we are way up front with 3-0, 4-0, etc. But for the Champions League, we definitely need some luck if we want to advance to the knockout stage, because it's clearly not sufficient.
No, it won't be easy.
No, definitely not. I mean, compare it with if Antony, because Antony is being one of the players that is doing great. If he got injured, who do we got to replace him? Okay, we got Neres, but Neres is also injury sensitive.
And not in the form he needs to be.
Exactly. So it needs time. They need time, and especially what I missed as well in transfer window is some defensive quality. We got Klaiber. Well, I don't see him as a really defensive quality player, but we all thought that Ten Hag would get us a left back or a center back. Now we have Martinez. Martinez, we all consider is a valuable player in midfield, but now it's being considered as a backup player for the left back position and the center back position. That should not be the case, especially not for a top club. We need to have a replacement for every position within a squad. So you have Tagliafico, then you have to have a backup left back. We got Blind who's got injured. We should have a backup center back, etc. Now we need to rely on one player, just one player who replaces two players if they got injured. What if they get both injured? Who will take over that position? We got Martinez, and then should we rely on Rensch at this age, especially in the Champions League? It's going to be an issue, and I thought Overmars and Ten Hag would learn from their mistakes in December and January, but apparently it is still it didn't get through their head, and that's an issue.
Look, for me, if I look at Klaiber, I think we could have solved it with youth. No need for a transfer like that at all. Yeah. If we look at Klaassen, I'm not the biggest fan, but I can see that with his hard work, we can make it difficult in the Eredivisie. But that hard work is not going to be enough for the Champions League. So I hope we find a balance on that midfield, because that's the only thing really lacking. It's already been 2 years that we don't have a balance since Schöne and Frankie de Jong left. So yeah, that is going to be the biggest test for Ten Hag, I think, this year.
Yeah, true. That I agree with you. I mean, there's the most difficult part of the squad, the midfield, and I don't think he still got that balance yet, and he's still sticking with Alvarez. Man, I really don't know what's wrong with him. But if you keep on putting Alvarez in midfield, I don't know.
Look, yeah, my hope is that Klaassen is going to take that Alvarez role. But if it's going to be a midfield with Alvarez and Klaassen, I'm seriously gonna denounce Ten Hag, because that's not something anyone wants to see.
So guys, true. So guys, I have a few questions. You guys point out very interesting topics. Let me start by the beginning, right? I mean, we knew from the start that Ziyech, Van de Beek, but even Onana and Tagliafico were very likely to leave, right? So we were already anticipating this. At the end of the day, we only sold 2 of those players, and we kept Onana and Tagliafico. So my first question to you guys is this not a success in itself that we kept those 2 players for this season?
Well, you want to go first, Sabi? Yeah, go.
Okay, thanks. Well, it depends on whether we were successful or not. It could be that not a lot of clubs were interested in those players because of the Corona situation. Perhaps they were expensive. So it's not because they really wanted to stay, because they literally stated that their wish was to search abroad for a new club. So either the club didn't pass by, or they felt they were too expensive.
But
Although-
yeah, but the thing is that not looking at the argument or the reasons why they stayed with us, just thinking about the fact that they stayed with us.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, it's definitely a success, of course. I mean, could you imagine having?
Yeah, that's what I'm pointing out. I'm pointing out.
No. You can see that as a small success. It's not a huge success, but a small success. I mean, they stayed, and yeah, basically one burden less. But we need to look forward and not to remain as it is. I mean, we lost two players, Ziyech and Van der Beek, two of the most important players within the squad. We got two other players instead who were great at this moment. We never know how they will develop in the upcoming months. So it's still difficult to see how this will be in the future. But nevertheless, it's a small success, and basically that's it.
Yeah, for me, anything that has to do with Tagliafico and Onana is a great success. So I'm going to say great that they kept them. I just hope it doesn't affect their motivation. But if we want to talk about a real success, it would have been if we solved that midfield issue pre-season and beforehand, because the midfield was an issue last year. Hasn't improved this year, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's going to be the struggle, I think. And I think the midfield, I mean, Onana is great at keeping. Tagliafico is amazing at his position. I think Martinez is an all-rounder, so he should be used, but he should be playing at least like every other week, because he's that good and he's too good to sit on the bench. Evident was today the friendly match. He does it with such ease that I think is just terrible what they're doing to Martinez at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, the midfield is for me a question mark, Juan, and that's going to be. I don't think that's solved yet.
Interesting, because I wanted to ask you guys. I have two more questions, and this one of the first questions is exactly what Papimento is highlighting right now. Don't we have players now? Considering also we got Klaassen, I know Papimento is not the biggest fan, but looking at the whole, I mean the total picture, all the players that we have right now at Ajax, shouldn't Ten Hag be able now to find a solution, and find the ideal or balanced midfield? Because at the same time, guys, let's be realistic here. We are still dreaming about that, success here with Frenkie de Jong and Lasse Schöne and Ziyech. They were playing also on the midfield. That's not realistic anymore. Antony van der Beek. I mean, you have to also be realistic. We cannot just grab those players every year. So looking at what we have right now, shouldn't it be enough for Ten Hag to find something there?
Yeah, you go ahead, Papimento.
Look, Juan, it's not only about is it enough for the coming weeks. It's like, what happens if Kudus gets injured and we have a Champions League game? Or what happens if Antony gets injured and we have Neres is not there yet. He's not at the level that Antony is at the moment. If you put Klaassen as a 10, who are you going to put next to him and behind him? Is Gravenberch going to be on the bench? Is Kudus going to be on the bench? Are those two going to switch? Because personally, I'd rather see both of them on the pitch from the start.
Yeah, but just let me say one thing. Mm-hmm. What you're saying and what also Sahbi are saying, this is something that Ajax always will have. I mean, we are not a team like Chelsea or Manchester City or those kind of teams that we can have 2 or 3 good players in every position. So we have to, again, be realistic about that.
Why not?
Because
we have money.
Because we're a youth academy team as well. Don't forget
that.
that.
Exactly. But we play with youth academy players. If there is no other play, if we have players from the youth academy that can't excel or don't have the quality yet, we should buy a quality player. We have sufficient money on the bank. If you look at the transfer of this season, Ziyech, for a large amount, went out. You got Van der Beek, large amount, who got sold as well. You got Marine, who got sold because he's loaned out with a permanent clause to sell him. So
is it permanent?
I think it's permanent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
But there's no profit there, though.
I mean, I don't think we can get a player that is already playing at Chelsea or is already playing at Barcelona, but we can still get a talented player from a club who has sufficient quality, more quality than the youth players at this moment. If we have a youth player that excels already, who has the quality to play alongside, like Gravenberch, then of course we wouldn't have any need for such a player. But apparently we do need some sort of player. Otherwise, we already have included those players in the first team. So it's an issue. And if you talk about the balance, we got Klaassen, we got Kudus, we got Gravenberch, and also Martinez. We got 4 quality players who could play midfield for 3 positions. Is that sufficient? I don't know. I don't think so. I would have added another quality player in the team to create some competition, and in that way the level would increase, and that would pay off in the Champions League.
And we should also not forget that we're dealing with a post-Corona season. So the speed in which everything is going and the matches behind each other, it's gonna drain Ajax faster. So this would have been a perfect season to have more depth in your team than required.
I understand what you guys are saying, but I respectfully a little bit disagree with you guys, because I don't think it's realistic to think that we can buy players. So I'm not talking about the youth academy right now. I'm talking about buying an adequate player to be a backup or a squad rotation player for a certain position, whether it's a midfield or a defense. Because guys, let's not forget, Ajax is a very nice club, most beautiful club there is, but we're playing in the Eredivisie. Which good quality player will accept coming to Ajax and not having a good chance to play?
I mean,
no one will.
We bought Antony, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a quality player who is fighting for his spot, and apparently he won. So why not buying a player for a midfield position? A quality player who can fight for a position. If Klaassen wouldn't play well, he will be benched. There's nothing in his contract stating he will play every match. If he doesn't play that well, he will be benched. And for how much money was he bought? Almost 40 million, 11 million with 3 million as bonus. So it's not only about money, but you need money to buy quality. And at the end, the quality should be shown on the field. If you can't show it, you will be benched. Marine was bought for how much? 12 or 15 million? Very promising player, apparently, according to a lot of people. He didn't perform, so he got benched. And at the end, he even got sold. So, I mean, of course, we need to look at the youth at first. But if there is no player who can successfully play within the squad, we need to buy. We got money, we need to buy.
And look, maybe we're not assessing Ajax also properly, because we've seen Ajax struggling in the last couple of games. And maybe it's because Ten Hag putting players out of position. We don't really see the true level of what Ajax can achieve with a Tadic as number 9 and Klaassen as a 10 and Promes and Antony on the wing. It might be a whole different Ajax, and we might create more chances. But that's not something we've seen. We've seen that 2 players that are the youngest with amazing quality were the best players in the last couple of matches, Kudus and Antony. So it means that quality should be your number 1 priority, and then the rest. So you brought in Klaassen for experience. He has an Ajax history, fine. He's going to work hard, fine. But he's not going to be the creative person that's going to create for you or lead the way. And if we're talking about experience anyway, we have Huntelaar, Tadic, Blind, Tagliafico, Promes, Stekelenburg. If it's really just for experience to get him, why? We have enough people with experience. I'd rather have people with quality on that midfield than just experience.
All right, guys. I mean, I still tend to disagree a little bit with you guys, and especially with Safi. But that's not because I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that there is a very delicate balance how many Antonys you can buy in the squad. You can buy one and create one potential good player that be benched, maybe Neres in this case, but Neres is also coming from an injury. But you cannot buy 5 Antonys. You know, like you cannot buy 5 Antonys.
Why not?
Ajax is not capable of doing that.
Nobody's talking about.
Wait, guys, wait. The most important reason for this is that also there has been also some issues in the past month about youth players, you know, not really getting a chance, not even to play, but to train with the first team, because there's so many first teams players, and there's no room anymore for youth players to have a chance.
No, I agree on you on that one, but I was never talking about five Antonys. I was talking about a position which we really miss in terms of quality. For that specific position, we need to have a quality player, and quality player costs money. It's as simple as that. And when I talk about a quality player, why we need such a quality player, I'm striving for the Champions League. I mean, the Eredivisie, it's a league that you should win either way. With this squad, this should be sufficient to win the league, from my perspective. I'm always thinking about the Champions League. We need to perform on Champions League level, and to do that, we need quality.
Well, let's not disregard.
Yes, we need quality, and if we can't find the quality within the squad, we need to buy. And I'm not saying buy a quality center back for 20 million and a midfield player for 25 million. No, you look for a raw diamond who can already play in squad. And what we see now is that the midfield is quite thin. The same applies for the defense. And as Papimento mentioned, if Ten Hag puts in the players in their right positions, it will already be 50% better than we already do right now. So let's start with that, and then proceed from with regards to gap analysis on the positions that we do need. But I mean, Ten Hag, man, seriously.
Yeah, can I interject? I just wanted to add that I don't want 5 Antonys, but if you look at Kudus, he was 9 million and Klaassen is 14 million. I already think Kudus has much more potential than Klaassen can ever be. So if we're talking about we don't have the money, yeah, I don't see it that way, because you bought an average player to come play at Ajax, while you bought for 9 million a proper quality player that's going to give you so much more if you can hold him, because he's already playing that terrific.
Yeah, but we know you're a Klaassen hater.
Yeah. I don't see Klaassen as an average player, by the way. Yeah, I do see him as an addition of quality within the squad. I think he brings a lot of poison, a lot of winning mentality, personality, leadership. It's something that the squad also needs. We shouldn't forget about that. And I mean, I saw him a bit today in his friendly match. And of course there were youngsters playing, but he would never pass the ball to the back or horizontal. He always puts the ball forward, and that's something that we might need. And not an Alvarez who brings the ball to the back or to the but never to the front. So it's
Sabi, I'm not going to compare Klaassen to an Alvarez, because they're both not the level you need at Ajax, I'm sorry to say. But if he can play a 6 and can work hard and just give the ball when he has it to somebody else, I'll be fine. I'll be happy with Ajax.
As long as I say it's a good addition. It's a good addition to the squad. That's all I'm saying, Klaassen. It's not a bad bias, Klaiber. That's all I'm saying.
All right, guys, we have to finish this. I have one final question, if we can keep it brief this time. It's about Noa Lang. It was a surprise for everyone that Noa Lang got loaned out with actually with also a clause that he will be bought next year by Club Brugge. What are you guys' thoughts on this deal?
I'm sad. But before I start with Noa Lang, I just wanted to make one more thing. I want to say one more thing, and that's about Overmars. I think if we could look retrospect, transfer window, Corona period, there were a lot of loan deals and steals to be made during this transfer. And I think my biggest disappointment is that we didn't do enough. Okay, that's the general consensus. And then going to Noa Lang, I really love the guy. I think he has great potential. He has something gritty about him. Like, I don't care about anyone. I'm here to dominate. I like that kind of mentality. The games he played for Ajax weren't always that bad. And give him another year or two, he would be perfect for Ajax. So I'm sad because he's a real Ajax kid. And I hope to see him in the first team, that he could really been influential for Ajax, you know? So yeah, that's my it's not something I'm very happy about. Let's leave it at that.
No, totally agree with you, Papimento. I mean, it's a kid of the club, especially coming from Feyenoord, always rooting for Ajax. He's got that bluff, like an Amsterdam bluff in him. I really would love him to stick with the club for 1 or 2 years, succeeding Promes as a left winger, for example. Get him loaned out and coming back once Promes will leave us, and him getting starting position. I think it's a missed opportunity, but I do understand his position. He doesn't want to wait any longer. He played well in preseason, but didn't get a chance in the Eredivisie. So it might be a clear decision from his side, stating that he wants to look abroad. And I do understand his decision if this is the case. And obviously, it's a bad thing from Overmars not to put in a buyback clause. If he would have played well at Club Brugge, to buy him back for a certain amount. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your take and your thoughts on the subject, on the transfer window. Much appreciated. We'll see you guys next time, and take care.
Next time, man.
All right.
Hey there, thanks for watching. A thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Subscribe so we can bring you more awesome content. Do it.